Welcome to our Posh podcast. I'm Gabrielle. I'm your host today, here with my beautiful daughter Marcella as co-host, and Bernie.
Hello, hello, hello.
And our DJ Spider.
Let's get this going.
And our two amazing, beautiful guests today, Roxanne and Jessica from the amazing SkinRx. It's a skincare clinic, correct? No, what is it called?
Yeah, clinical spa.
Clinical spa. I got that
You know
wrong.
what's funny?
Words,
and people call me Roxy all the time.
Roxy?
But you've known me forever, so you say Roxanne.
I call you Roxanne.
You do too, but you're like my mother.
So people call you Roxy more than Roxanne? That's funny.
I'd say so.
Socially.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
What do they say behind your back?
Yeah.
Roxy is super cute.
It's like Chicago, Roxy Hart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to tell you guys something. I am a huge facial snob. Okay, I grew up in Europe. I am used to European aestheticians. I was taught by my mother that skin is the most important thing to take care of. She taught me at a very early age to go to get facials all the time, and I developed a skin condition called perioral dermatitis, where everything breaks me out. I can't use any products.
Wow.
I can't go to. I used to go to. There used to be a spa that was like high-end Georgette Klinger here in the Galleria. I went to literally everyone, and dermatologists couldn't treat me. It was a nightmare. And I found this girl that, she's one of my very best friends, and I've been her client for over 30 years. And she came from the European way of doing aesthetics. So I'm going to admit it, I'm a snob. If people tell me they are doing skin, I'm usually like,
that's neat.
Sure you are.
So what's the difference?
Yeah.
What is the difference? You said European. Is there? So what is the difference between European?
You're trained.
They're
The
trained.
training is longer.
Yeah, and it's
Is it?
different.
For the initial training.
Wow.
Yeah,
I
it's
probably
just
beat them all out by now.
Yeah, by now. But I don't know how to explain it. It's just something that is done completely different. And my friend's parents, like her mom was from Brazil and her dad from Spain, and they together created their own line. And it's just something I've used for over 30 years.
Wow.
And I also worked in that spa for 6 years as an office manager. And so I know a lot about skin. I know a lot about aestheticians and how it goes. And Roxanne invited me to come to her spa, and I was like, I love
neat.
her. I'm gonna go try it.
That's really cute. That's super cute.
I was like, no, I totally trust her and I want her. But I told her what my thing was. So
Took me 10 years.
I go in, and I want you to know that I go in the clinic, and it's like right off the bat, I'm like, this place is really cool. Like they just moved, they opened a new clinic, and then you go in the room, and it's from that first moment you walk in and you lay down on that bed, and it's from the sheets, like starting with that. It's the quality, the feel. I was like,
What kind of sheets? So what kind of sheets do you use?
Do we want to share those secrets?
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not.
We sell them for the house.
do you really sell them?
Yeah.
It was just something that I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And then it's the whole way that she went about it. It was just probably the best experience I've
She's
ever
talked
had.
about it
I've
since
not
she
stopped
went.
talking about it.
To me. I'm like, thanks. I'm very jealous. Thank you.
Thanks, Mom.
There's so many things about it, though. Like usually when you go and get a facial, you have to take the whole entire day, and like you can't do anything after because your hair is smashed and your product is all over the hair and your hair is greasy, and I don't know. It's just all of it. None of that happened. She gives like the best scalp massage too, so then your hair is like good afterwards.
It's a good volume.
It's
Good
just
volume.
like great. I
Like
was
you had
like,
a hot date.
yeah, we could go out. But besides that, her knowledge is beyond amazing. Like I've only gone to her one time. One of my friends I walk with a lot has told me twice, oh my gosh, your skin. I'm like, I didn't even really tell her that it was, I didn't talk that much to her about it, but she has talked about my skin since. And I'm like,
And that's one time.
that's one time. And I'm like, can I come every week? And she's like, I'm booked. I'm like, I'm on the waiting list. Hello, I'm on the waiting list. So I just wanted to tell everyone that it's absolutely incredible to me what you have done, because I think it is more than just me coming to you as a client. It's more also as a friend. I mean, I met you when you were a mom with 2 girls, married, and then you had to leave those kids and you went to school and you reinvented yourself. And I know how darn hard that is. And to make that, I am beyond impressed. So
Thank you. There's a lot of sacrifice to
and
success.
tell me
in
about
general.
that. Tell us a little bit about how that was and how difficult that was. And you went, so why did you decide to go into skincare?
I had issues for a long time, and
With your own skin.
with my own skin. And my mom owned a spa growing up, but it was never skin stuff. And then I started traveling all over the country, and I would go to different places, and it seemed like I would pick up on things that I liked and didn't like. And I'm like, one day I'll figure
Use all
out
that.
I'm going to do that. Yes. And it was kind of before the aesthetic industry boomed, really, because it really took off after that. And so I knew I needed to find something to do. I was totally dependent on my husband at the time, and I knew we were in the middle of going through a divorce, and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I went to school and sacrificed so much. I missed field trips. I missed a lot with my kids that I'm now able to do. But over the years, it was just a lot of continuing education. You know, anybody can go get their aesthetic license tomorrow. I mean, you could go, Marcella, and go for 6 months and
Get it.
Be
and get it
licensed.
and done. And okay,
Yeah.
let me get a job.
Yeah.
Or you can go to get a laser certificate in 2 weeks and be ready. So it's just what you put into it. Yeah.
Kind of scary though. Like,
Right.
that's all
Yeah.
it takes. Like,
Mhm.
that's quick.
Just a piece of paper. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's really about just continuing to have that drive and push yourself and have that, continuing education.
So you worked how many hours a week would you
Oh.
say back then?
like 70,
A week with 2
80.
children.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was endless.
2 little girls.
6 days a week. And then on Sundays, I'd still work. And it's just everything was work. I would go anywhere and it was work. I was constantly working. And so, and I passed up some really great opportunities. I left that med spa. I worked for somebody else. I always recommend that. I think it's great to work for somebody else. I went in it knowing I wanted to own my own thing, but I wanted to be very small, boutique-y. I didn't want to work like my mom did over the years. I didn't want my kids living at my work
Yeah.
with me. And so I don't know what happened. My kids are not living at my work. I have a really great thing, and I have some amazing mentors. My team is phenomenal.
How many people are on your
I've-
team?
Jessica is,
We have 4 providers, including Roxanne.
Wow.
yeah. And then we have our support staff
Support
too.
staff, office
So
manager.
how many? So how many employees altogether?
So we have 7 right now.
Wow.
8 almost. Is he Kristen?
6.
7. I don't. Yeah.
Almost 7.
Which is, in such a short time. How
So-
many years ago is this? that you started?
2015, I went on my own. So we started 2015. Jessica came on 2007,
No.
16.
Spring of 16.
Yeah. And so kind of took off from there. Started small. I didn't want to be overwhelmed. I think a lot of people just jump in it.
So
I've heard
smart.
about you though since I want to say because you guys have known each other for so long. I think since your divorce and everything going on, and then my mom talking about how the reinvention part about having, just because that's hard, especially when you relied on a husband and you didn't work or had
Didn't have family. I didn't
Yeah,
have any
didn't do
family
anything.
here.
And so she talked about you a lot, and then always like, oh my gosh, I have to go get a facial from Roxanne. I'm gonna go get a facial from Roxanne. Roxanne, like over and over and over. And now that you guys are finally here and she got one, I'm like, that's so cool, because I've heard about it for a long time now. I'm not even kidding.
I think we all need to get some facials.
No,
Yeah, just
Come
to
over.
support y'all.
You know what?
I
Come on
think,
down to Southlake.
I think the thing is also technology has come.
I was gonna
so
say
social
far.
media.
It's not what it is 10 years ago either.
No.
A facial in general. It used to be just
Exactly.
hands and some lotion. It's not
Right.
like that anymore.
Right.
Oh God,
you want, use that. Yeah.
Listen, you dirty girls.
I guess how that came out.
That was I knew that. I'm trying to wake Bernie up over
Hey,
there.
I'm wide awake now.
That was good.
Fighter's awake.
That was sexual in so
Lotion
many
wet.
ways.
That was dirty minds. Dirty minds.
No, but it's come a lot. It's come so far. Technology, education,
Yeah.
scientific studies.
Right, but you have stayed on the cutting edge of it, which that is something to be said for because so many people don't.
Yeah.
And that I think I used to have a friend who passed away sadly, but she was in the medical industry and she always talked about how the best doctors they have to do the continuing education and
True.
that
Very
is how
true.
you stay
More than
on
what's
top of it.
required.
More
I
than
think
what's
it-
required.
in
yes.
any business,
Mm-hmm.
personally.
Well, it goes back
Anything.
to what you just said a few seconds ago, where you can go 2 weeks and get a what kind of certification?
Laser.
Anything, laser
Right.
certification.
But it goes down to because I've been in medical industry for 11 years, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I'm certain 100% of people would support this. There are physicians that are really good in surgery. And there are physicians that are fucking horrendous in surgery. Like they should not be operating. They're great businessmen. They're horrible businessmen. And so I think the same thing goes when I did hair. There were some stylists. I mean, there's some stylists who, and this is not a knock on anyone who does this, so don't yell at me, but there's people who can go work at Pro Cuts, and there's people who can go further along, go become an educator for sexy hair concepts or somebody else, right? It's a matter of those who are willing to go the extra mile to become the experts. And then you also have the people who can charge the amount they're charging because you're not just a esthetician or a stylist, you're an expert. And so it allows
People
you
respect. Yeah.
absolutely, and they can
Yeah.
follow your work. And I think it's one of the great things about having an online presence in the industry you guys are in. People can check your work out, and that's great because we've seen Instagrams from other people who their stuff is horrendous. But when you have the ability to support, you have the tenure and knowledge to support yourself and show, like you were showing me earlier, what was
I was showing him before and after photos. I think you like the guy that I showed you, the acne scarring.
Yeah.
it was really
That's
crazy.
what-
And
Yeah.
so, and people can relate to that. And so when they see that there's just not someone who's an esthetician who's doing, the lotion of
Hands and lotion.
But a lot of people are now they're doing like facials or they're doing lip injections and whatnot. But you guys can do that. But you guys can take it a step further to be.
So do you
experts
do
at
that? Do you do injections at your spot?
We have somebody that does injectables.
we do have a
you
nurse
do.
injector,
Yeah.
but we
But
you
are
don't.
not
But it's
injecting.
not.
Yeah.
But you could have somebody that has great lips and has horrible skin. You want both, right?
Oh, yeah, you
want
need all
the
of it,
mat-
doesn't
yeah.
it? Well, I've always, my skin has been, I told my mom, I said, if anybody could ever fix my skin, I'd probably start sobbing, crying because it has been something that's bothered me. Obviously, when I was in high school, I had horrible acne, like just awful. I got on Accutane and then, so that went away, but then I had scars and I have olive skin tone. So my pores are bigger and it's like, it never can seem to I just hate everything
To
about
start
it.
crying now.
No.
I'll see this week.
You're like, you can start ahead. But I have done I guess you could say the popular stuff you see.
what's popular?
You see everybody doing, I haven't done a Hydra Facial, but I was going to ask you guys how you feel about that. That was the first one I wanted because it's a popular thing right now.
What
And
is a Hydra Facial? Because I don't know any of this stuff. So.
I've done PRP, which was horrendous on my skin. I got that.
Too inflamed.
Oh
Too much
my
inflammation.
Too
gosh.
inflammatory for you.
Like I'm looking at you. You have a lot
Yeah.
of inflammation.
Yeah. So I was
especially
like,
having been on Accutane.
Yeah.
Like your skin is a whole different breed at this point.
Yeah.
What does Accutane do?
It's an internal drug that helps
An oral,
inflammation. Pretty much it's like a steroid.
yeah.
I mean, it's,
But long-term studies have shown that it completely changes the physiology of your skin.
Really?
It can affect your liver long-term. It can
I had to get a
affect
blood
your
test
fertility.
every month. And
Yeah.
there was you have to get on Accutane, first of all, your acne has to be to a point. And
be on birth control.
you have to be on birth control the whole time because you can
Really?
have like a deformed baby.
Yeah.
And you have to get a blood test every month. Like you almost sign your life away. You cannot be in the sun. You but it was the
Holy
only
shit.
thing that would help. Because I was desperate at one point as a teenager. And I think that now it doesn't seem like I can find any. And I went to a dermatologist and they were like, well, we don't want to do a laser because you have olive skin tone. So we don't want to, do all this stuff. So I'm just saying from my experience.
Wow, I had no idea.
And then there was another plastic surgeon who was like, well, a long time ago, we used to inject acid into the little like scars and then it would heal over, but we don't do that anymore. And I'm like, damn it, there's just no, I'm like, how is this possible that there is nobody that can help my skin? I guess I have this skin that's like, that you can't help. So I was so excited for them to come because I was so curious as to what would help someone like me, or what you feel about the Hydra Facials and the PRPs and all that stuff.
I have a skin pen and all that kind
Skin
of stuff.
pen, yeah.
I think it's just a customized approach, and that's what we take, because what you see on Instagram from a popular
You are
blogger,
nothing like the picture on Instagram that you see these awesome results. You're a completely different case.
Yeah.
And so when you start approaching it like that, going, we sit down with you during your first consult or your first appointment, and it's like a 35-minute conversation
Talking
about your life, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
What you're using, what you're not using, what you're eating, what supplements you're taking, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And because it all plays a part into it.
Right.
And, what your history is, even going back 15 years, your
Mhm.
medication history, like, people are like, oh, I don't need to tell them I took Accutane 15 years ago. Yeah, you do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
important.
That's
Yeah.
important. So knowing that, it's like what I'm sitting here like formulating in my head, like what I would do. I'm sure Roxanne's doing the same thing,
Yeah.
how we would approach your skin, but it's totally different than what I would do with you, and what I would do with you. But like,
stay tuned for
Yeah.
before and after photos.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a customized approach, which we really pride ourselves in.
And not everybody does that.
Not everybody's a Hydra Facial candidate.
And
that's
that's
what I
the other
was
thing.
Sounds great, but
Yeah. Because you see these
Bernie, yes.
med spas that are like,
I still don't even know what it is though. That's
oh, you can explain if you
like a shop vac for your face.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's
what?
But you're like that.
it's shop vac for your face. So it's removing all the impurities in your skin. So
Debris,
bacteria, clogged pores,
Yeah,
oil,
I've
all
seen
this
it.
stuff. At the same time, it's infusing good, what I like to call skin food, peptides, amino acids, hydration, hyaluronic acid,
which helps ease wrinkles, good anti-aging type.
anti-inflammatory. They use some active salicylics, some glycolics, some good ingredients. So for the most part, you're dewy, you're plump in a good way. Hydrated fresh. I love doing it on clients that are either about to leave for a trip, because getting on that airplane and doing, and you're just beautiful, or right after a trip because you're rehabbing after you were in Italy drinking wine and eating pasta for a week. And
Is there an after? Sorry to interrupt you. Is there
Yeah.
an after effect from the initial treatment, hydrofacial? Because I think I've never had anything like this, but I've. Do you break out? Do you do anything like that? Is it a pretty safe thing to do?
typically,
immediately?
no. If you are a tried and true candidate for it, which goes back into the consultation, like you have to have a conversation with the person beforehand. Typically, no, you're not going to have a breakout.
But unless you leave and you don't listen to
And
us,
then unless you also
you're
have to listen.
bad.
That's
But
being
that
that's part of the
is right.
consultation.
We were talking earlier before
like a
before
trainer.
y'all came. It's crazy how people. First off, a lot of people don't want to invest the money
Right. Or
time into getting the results, right? Or here's the majority of it. The majority of it is most people don't know who is qualified for it. They see someone who says that has the right social media, whatever, blah blah blah, and it's bullshit. It just comes down to, just like I was saying a second ago, there's doctors who the common person thinks, well, they're doctors, so they must know, and that's not the case
not
at
the
all,
case.
right? So how does someone become educated enough to understand who to go see and stuff like this? Because there's so many people out there marketing themselves as specialists.
Right. I think just history of reviews and pictures, like look at before and afters, word of mouth.
Can you
Word of
tell us?
mouth.
I want to know about the skin game thing.
Yeah.
There is a thing that's called skin games, okay? And people send I want to know what it is, how you got to do it, how you got in it, how you won. Because last year she won. It's an international competition for skin.
So
It is insane.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'd never heard of it before.
One of our reps who has one of our product lines that we use, a rep came to us and said, "Hey, you need to enter in this." So it's
a couple of years ago, the first year that Roxanne entered.
yeah, the first year. And Jessica's like, "I'll sit out of this one. You go for it."
Oh yeah, the first year I'm like, nope, no ma'am.
So what do you
I
do?
watched
So
the
you
whole
have
thing. I
8
was like, oh my
weeks
God.
to show a case study, a before and after photo, and you have to video document every week.
Oh, wow.
And so
Really?
you pick a category.
You pick a category. So there's everything from age management to acne, compromised
like
pigmentation, anything skin condition wise. And
Holy shit! Wow.
I know.
So it's like
crazy.
Hunger Games, but for
international, yeah. And so
That's competitive.
Yeah. And so you have 8
what was
weeks.
category? What was yours?
I
The
did
first
age
year.
management the first year, and I had 8 weeks, and you can only do certain modalities, whatever you're
within your scope
compliant.
of practice,
Yeah.
which changes from state to state.
What
But
does that mean?
scope of practice is what you're legally allowed to do.
Oh, I couldn't do injectables. I couldn't do things
right.
like that. So
There's separate categories.
It
for
had
that,
to be really
so they
skincare.
Yeah, and they picked 10 finalists
And who picked
from
them?
all over.
Industry
they have a
leaders.
judge.
Aesthetics Council. It's like a whole
Oh
council.
my gosh,
Yeah.
how
It's
crazy.
It's like skin. It's like the Hunger
It's a
Games.
whole like underground like skincare.
And so you got top
Yeah.
10.
So top 10.
When you
and
got that notification, were you excited?
so excited, and I brought my whole
freaking-
team with me. We went out
They went
there.
to Vegas. Vegas?
And
Was it Vegas?
The first year was Napa, so
Oh.
she
It's different every year.
Oh shit! That's
yeah,
and then
not bad locations.
Vegas was fun. I lost 2 years of my life there. I'll be dying at 80, not 82. So the first year was fun, and you go for a live interview. So once you're picked top 10, then you have to go through an interview process with judges, like a panel of judges sitting at a round table like this, and they analyze you and ask you questions.
These judges are anywhere from people who have formulated product lines, industry leaders that, I mean, y'all.
So
wouldn't
you walked
necessarily-
in. Were you nervous?
So nervous.
So nervous?
Oh, I've got
Yeah.
videos.
Yeah,
Documented
I was nervous.
everything.
I went to the bar before. I had some drinks before.
Took some shots.
Yeah, it was great. It worked out. I got first place.
Yeah.
She
So
literally
how many
won.
people? So
Like
how,
it
how
was
many
like
people were-
announced like an Oscar thing. Like they're all
Oh,
in a big
shit.
room. And I watched the whole thing in live because I was so excited for her.
How many
And then-
people were like entered into this contest? I mean, it's worldwide.
I don't even know
it's
how many.
national.
All over international. Like I was against
That's
somebody in
crazy.
Germany, somebody in London, and then you become friends with people all over the world. So, I mean, I have places I want to go right now to go see these people. Australia, London.
UK, yeah.
So you went.
Camilla.
Okay, so you get notification you're first place. You won.
It
So-
got announced.
Losing
on
my
stage.
shit. Oh
This
yeah.
is like-
So yeah. So how big is the stage? Like
a big.
It's
This is like a big
it's a
thing.
giant ballroom. Like
Yes.
there's a couple
Oh,
thousand people,
shit.
industry.
Yeah, it was
people there.
unbelievable. I was
So it just
freaking out
It
at
opens
home.
up like a whole network of. I
yeah.
mean, lots of opportunities, and I mean opportunities for education. Like I flew my whole team. People are flying us out for educational opportunities
Across
that
the country.
I would usually have to
Can
pay
we join your
a
team
ton of
right
money.
now?
right?
Please.
Yeah, let's work on you first.
No, I'll let you work
How do you
on
feel
me
about
too.
being blonde? Yeah.
So when I did hair, man, because I worked for BioSilk,
Oh yeah.
so I used to do platform work, and I used to be one of their dancers. Like
Of course you did.
Oh yeah.
So we would. What does that mean? So we would. So I'd have my hair black
Straight man,
and black and blue, black and red, orange,
He's not
blonde.
opposed to it, is what he's saying.
Not at all. So
can make 'em blonde.
I make a good holder of brushes and whatever you need to
Brush holder.
I'll be a brush holder.
She's joking
officially.
about the blonde thing because everybody that comes to us is blonde. I'm like, can we get some brunettes around our
we just hired a great
hired a
brunette,
brunette,
but we're all
a
blonde.
great brunette.
No,
I,
we have to add some spice. Like
That
she's a fantastic. She's part of our support team, but we're all blonde.
But I interview somebody. I'm like, oh, what's wrong
Shit,
with them?
they're blonde.
They're blonde.
Imagine that
Can we-
Texas blonde.
and if I hire somebody brunette, they become blonde.
dude, that's
They
funny.
dye their hair.
Yeah, of course. You need a token Puerto Rican.
Tell
You
us
do.
about
That's it.
dermaplaning. What
Oh,
is
yeah.
that all about?
Oh, everybody loves dermaplane. Nobody,
It's the best.
I've
nobody
never
wants
done
to talk about shaving their face. It's not shaving their face. I mean, we're doing it for dead skin removal. So it's using a surgical blade.
What?
Template.
I've heard about
Not
it.
everybody's a candidate.
Best. Yeah.
Bernie, you can't have it done. I had a guy come to me one time and he's like, "Can you dermaplane me?" No.
So what is
you,
it?
You can go home and shave.
What?
It was originally developed to exfoliate that top layer of dead skin cells. So it really just pulls off
Dude,
that.
that's crazy.
So it's using a surgical blade.
Yeah, it's a 10 blade. you said?
10 blade.
Yeah.
I'm very
10 blade.
familiar.
Yeah, 10 blade, and added bonus, it takes off that peach fuzz vellus hair that we all have. And so it
Oh,
doesn't
it's
grow back thicker.
so
It
great.
doesn't grow back darker.
Does it hurt?
Does not hurt.
not
For
hurt.
women, your makeup goes
not
on
allowed.
smoother. Your products absorb better.
So you're literally scraping that top.
Yes.
I've seen it.
It's the best.
A video of it.
Wow.
So it's
Doesn't
I just
hurt.
had it done. She
You
did.
did?
Doesn't
I
hurt.
loved it.
God, do you feel any uncomfort at all?
0.
It's comfortable.
It feels
I've had-
very
Oh,
nice,
yeah.
actually.
Most people are like, this is really therapeutic. Like,
you're
it's
doing
just
it properly.
mechanical. I say it's
To
mechanical.
put
Obviously, we're the ones doing it.
product on afterwards is amazing.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
So
Roxanne
what?
said I can't do it.
So who's not a candidate?
Oily,
Me?
acne-prone skin, typically. I mean,
Me?
not
Just
all
me. I mean,
oily.
If you're
fun.
not having a current super breakout,
Yeah, if you don't have full-blown acne, if anybody has acne, we have to address that first, and then you can get
you
dermaplane.
get the fun stuff.
And we can
done.
address the acne.
What would I be a candidate for? What would y'all do to me? Let me ask.
Botox,
I know, right here.
maybe.
So I had.
I don't think men should be totally Botoxed up.
No,
I'm not
No, I
saying
agree.
Very, very expressive, and you still want that expression. I am too. I need to touch up.
So
but
I've had it done before. So what's the difference between Botox? I'm asking this because I've had it done, but what's the difference between Botox and filler?
Somebody keeps
Fillers?
asking me that too.
Yeah,
I don't know how to explain it.
You had an expert on the other day.
Yeah.
Filler is
Yeah.
volume. Botox is a neuromodulator. It's relaxing the wrinkles, the muscles.
So I had. I
Difference.
still don't know what I had on me. I'm thinking Botox, but I had it here because of these two really prominent lines.
Botox.
Botox. All right.
Those
So
muscles are strong.
crazy. So that was the whole thing. So the doc did, a good buddy of mine. His name is, well, I don't say his name on the air, but he's an awesome plastic surgeon.
Well, then you should give his name.
Yeah, his name is Josh Lemon. I've known him for
I
years.
know, yeah. Dr.
Lemon's
Lemon.
legit.
Yeah, Dr. Lemon.
He's,
Yeah.
he's
He's
badass.
fantastic.
He is so badass.
Beautiful work.
Yeah, he's very beautiful.
reconstructive.
He's
That
on
was right.
Instagram.
No, his
No, he's
work.
awesome.
No, he does fantastic.
Everybody look
work.
at Dr. Lemon.
Josh Lemon is
Jay
legit.
Lemon, yeah.
He is a badass, and I mean the
Yeah.
guy works like crazy. He's
Yeah.
been, I've known him for years, and he's an amazing guy. And he, so he did mine, and he, it was one of those things where it was
weird.
He was, it like had a hard time filling out. Then I started getting the droopy part, and I wasn't used to it, and so I had a hard time like looking up.
Yeah.
And then he went in there and he added some more, and
You
then
have
it
to
fixed
rob
it.
Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah,
so
it
you
was-
can't just go in.
Correct.
So you have to do in different places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he went in and put some more, and then it worked awesome. And then I just completely stopped doing it. But it was I definitely am a big believer in it. But what I don't think is cool when I think it's better for women to have like the smoother face and all that stuff. But when you see a guy who's obviously Botoxed or fillered
No
out,
expressions.
it just like their skin is so perfectly smoother. I'm like, that just
We
doesn't-
wouldn't know when you're
look
upset.
good.
Huh?
Well, we don't really want to. I said we wouldn't know when you're upset.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding.
Man,
it just
really.
doesn't.
Yeah. Little
It just
sprinkle for
doesn't
men
look- I
just
don't
to
think it looks
soften.
good. Yeah.
Like, you still need, men should still have expressions. There's still like a rugged. That's why you have a beard.
Hell yeah. But I think it's always awkward when you see a guy who's perfectly smooth, like zero expression. It's always weird. But it's my
Tell us
I
about
think
chemical peels.
Hydra Facial or chemical peel on Bernie.
I was just
actually.
gonna ask
Post sun
chemical
damage.
peels.
Yeah.
Okay,
Chemical
so
peels
the
are
Hydra
amazing.
Facial would be like a shop vac from a face,
Yeah,
right? So
you
it'd
would
pull
love
out the pull
Yeah.
out the impurities and all that stuff. And what's now? Tell me about the chemical peel. What is that?
Yeah, I actually had a question on Instagram that somebody wanted.
They wanted to know.
about chemical peels and how you feel
We
about them.
love chemical peels.
Do they hurt?
No,
They
it
They
can.
can.
They can. There's
But-
different levels.
The thing about chemical peels
It's like a boot camp.
It's boot camp, but they
What?
come in. They come
We'll get
in all varieties. I think people's misconceptions, especially if they had a chemical peel back in the day, is that like your only option is literally to peel your face off like a snake, and that's not the case.
When I think
I had
the
a
word
friend once-
chemical is a little bit scary.
it's scary. No,
I had
but
a friend
everything's
once
a
see that
chemical.
happen. They
Right,
did a
it's
chemical
just
peel.
the
And it
name.
looked like
just insane.
What do you
And
mean, Roxanne? What?
I was saying everything's a chemical. Water's a chemical. People forget that chemicals
For sure.
are everything chemical, but the fact of acid scares people.
Yeah.
But you use acid all the time. I mean, in everything.
Yeah, I think there's
don't
a
know
but
it.
like you were saying from a long time ago, there was that like
Sex in the
One size
City
fits
or,
all.
Yeah.
you know, there's
Yeah.
all this.
your whole face is coming off.
coming
Yeah.
off and you're red and you have to go into hiding for weeks, and it's not the case anymore. I tell people chemical peels come from a level 1 to a level 10. 10 is what people think of and they're very beneficial for certain people, and there's a time and a place for it. But those level 1s, you get the same great results. It just may take a little bit longer, but you don't have the downtime. There's so many options nowadays that, address pigmentation and fine lines and hydration and different things that you you can put makeup on right afterwards and go meet your girlfriends for lunch.
Sweet.
And
Good. All right,
right.
good. I was
Beautiful
wondering.
for men. Yeah, no, it's a great option.
Do you,
For guys,
do you,
too.
do you ever recommend both a chemical peel and like a Hydra Facial? Do you pick
can
one or the
combo.
other?
We can make the Hydra Facial stronger. I think what I was saying about boot camp is imagine you're going to a new trainer one day. You're like, I'm going to start working out. What is that trainer going to do? They're going to give you like 100-pound dumbbell. Like, are you going to start lifting heavy the first day? No.
Yeah.
So typically, anybody comes to a skin, we're going to get to know you. We're going to do a lower level chemical peel, and then we'll work it out.
Time.
You beg us for a stronger one later, then we'll work it just like a trainer.
Yeah,
We're going to strengthen your
sense.
skin, and then we'll work it up eventually.
And it goes into what we were saying earlier. Like, I think it's important to have a plan, right?
Have a plan.
And people have to be willing to invest the time into that. And that's cool that you guys custom put plans together.
What is the most important thing people can do for their skin that like they don't do that
that's a
might
good
drive you
question.
crazy?
Sunscreen.
Really?
SPF.
Really?
The sun is
my
your
gosh, I
number one
forgot.
ager.
Okay,
It's going to age you.
Really?
Absolutely.
Roxanne, tell us what happened to you.
I had melanoma skin cancer in 2014. I was
Wow.
in the industry and I saw a dark freckle on my back and I got a spray tan. I'm like, why is it not all the way tan around here? It's kind of like a white halo mark.
How big was it?
Tiny,
Pinpoint.
like freckle on your arm.
Yeah.
Tiny, but it was dark. And I just went to my dermatologist and he gave me a skin check and he's like, no, you're good. I just went like a month before. And so I saw this spot and I'm like, maybe I'll wait till next year. I'll just wait. And then
No way.
I got my spray tan and it was still there. And I'm like, okay, doesn't look right. So I went and he's like, yeah, you have stage 2 melanoma. And so
You go
I
to the
had
same
it.
derm.
I went to a different derm.
Stage 2
I went to a different
melanoma.
dermatologist. Board certified dermatologist is important. People are like, I'll go to my regular doctor.
Your insurance covers an annual
Yeah, I
check.
just went one.
Yeah.
I just went.
So go to a board certified dermatologist, get a skin check, and go to somebody reputable that your friends go to. You should be taking all your clothes off.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You don't go and
Check in between the butt cheeks.
For skin.
I don't bend over.
I mean, you don't bend, but like you're checking
like strip
between
search.
the toe. No, you're not like coughing. No, but like it's like.
I mean, if you're going between the butt cheeks, you might as well just cough. It's all out
But like
there.
you move things, you lift things, you like it's.
I warn people that they're like, you didn't tell me I had to get my clothes off. I would have shaved. I'm like, yes, go get prepared.
They don't.
I
They
would've
don't
shaved.
care if you shave. Like
I hear people people tell me that all the time. You didn't prepare me. I had to get naked. Well, they put a little gown on you.
Yeah.
But you
This
should get
is the
checked.
first. I've worked in medicine for a long time. I've never heard anyone say anything like that. That's interesting.
What?
That the whole part, like it's if your insurance pays for it,
There's no
for that
reason.
annual check. Yeah, no. I'm saying like I've never even heard. I promise you, people do not think about that.
No, they don't.
Bob Marley died of melanoma. Did you know that?
I did not know
Bob
that.
Marley on his
So
foot.
wow, so
On his
that
foot.
really,
Yeah.
really.
Mhm.
So for anyone listening, that's really important for those who have insurance. If your insurance, I mean,
I
I
had a
guess it's
dark
very
spot.
preventative to do that. I guess I've never even thought about that.
If you don't
It
have
scared
insurance, just have somebody check you. I mean, somebody should notice if you have something coming. Like if you have a partner, spouse, they should notice if you have something.
So, but it
Roxanne
was.
knew.
Can you show us a picture of that scar
So what happened?
that you had? I'm confused.
It's on my Instagram.
Oh, it's
So it was. So you had
It's-
that, and then what did they
ugly
have?
scar. So I had Mohs surgery, and they cut deep because they have to remove the melanoma. So you get a nice scar, and then you can't treat the scar. I was like, I'm going to treat it and make it small.
You
And he's
can't
like, no,
treat-
you can't treat it because if it comes back, we can't tell.
because it disrupts the cellular like DNA and everything. Yeah. But I
So-
mean, you had to be in like an arm sling because of the way it was on your shoulder.
I did
and-
tanning beds. I was dumb. I mean, I was in pageants growing up. So I did tanning beds. It was all about being urban Florida. People still do tanning beds.
Oh yeah.
Do you?
I spray tan, and I don't wear sunscreen because I don't. Well, it's in my makeup, but I don't put it on my face.
People think sunscreen is like it's for cancer. It's not. It's not necessarily. I was
mean,
going to
it
say
is,
there's
but it's
different
not, yeah.
rays. There's the aging rays.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've
you're going to
always-
get wrinkles or crepey skin
Yeah.
later in life.
Well, I've always said I want to, but oh wow,
Oh, that's crazy.
that is crazy. Your phone's kind of dark though. We can't really see.
Oh yeah. Swipe down.
But I had a dark spot right here that I literally just got removed.
I mean, yours didn't look much different.
see it. I don't know what. Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah, mine was just dark. It made me feel weird, so I asked them to take it off, and then they actually just called me that it was benign. But
I've had things that they're like, well, that one's darker than anything else you have. So let's go ahead and
take it off. Let's dig it
So
out.
I'm so
Fine.
bad
Yeah.
about it. So I, being Puerto Rican, I like to be as dark as I can. So I don't put any sunscreen on, period.
Little known fact, you're still going to tan if you have sunscreen on.
Little known fact.
I want to tan darker. You shut
You
your
can
face.
still-
You will still change colors if you have sunscreen on.
Yeah.
It's your body's natural response. Protection from the sun is to produce that pigment. The sunscreen is protecting you from the UV damage. So you're still going to change colors.
It's really funny. As I've gotten older, I pay way more attention now. I'm paying way more attention to, like, I know I put like facial lotion on at night, stuff like that, just because it's amazing when I put that on. I feel the like hydration. It feels like, oh,
I
feels so
just don't
good.
put anything
Holy
on it
shit.
because I'm too scared. So there's nothing that goes.
Do,
on my
do you
face.
break out real easy if you put anything on?
It just
He has
depends.
in
It
the
just
past.
I don't want to do anything because anything I try or do or touch, I'm like, it's just a nightmare.
Okay, the second sin is not washing your face at night.
Oh, yeah,
I'd
I
say
do that.
sunscreen.
Yeah.
You brought up SPF, number 1. I don't remember what the question was.
I just was wondering what
Number
is
2.
the most important thing for
I would say
your skin.
in washing your face.
Yeah,
No
I do
shit,
that.
really.
I wash
Cleaning
my
out.
face.
Let
Is there
those-
a product? With that being said, is there products that are preference products for you two that you're like, anyone listening?
We have like 30 different cleansers in our place.
Because back to the fact that every single person is
shit, yeah.
completely different. So it's very hard for us to say, if you have no options, just go buy this, which we'd rather you be washing your face in general.
Yeah.
Soap is fine.
Something
at that
is better
point?
than nothing,
Yeah.
I guess, but it's a completely customized. Like we said, most people are using the wrong products for their skin.
Oh.
So they're not getting the results that they're hoping to get or that they're seeing on social media or they're seeing,
Yeah.
because it's not suitable for them.
Don't use soap.
I mean, don't use soap. Yeah. Don't use a Dove bar soap, but, or soap. Yeah.
Bernie.
Guys,
Yeah.
Men.
yeah. men in general.
Men.
Are like,
No,
let me
I-
just put my
if you,
armpits.
if you did your butt, you don't need to do it with your face. Yeah.
I was getting there next.
It's all the same. It's all the same. No, I'm notorious for that. I'll use soap.
Whatever's
Or-
in the shower.
Or I'll
Yeah.
use whatever's in
Shower.
Stacey's
Yeah.
shower or
Yeah.
something. I'm
Yeah.
just like, whatever. So
Yeah.
by default, I think I'm using something good usually.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. All right.
Well, and
Yeah.
then
Face.
I've seen
Wash your
people
face, yeah.
do the whole who's that Botox Josh is like, I don't know who needs
He's
to hear
so
this.
funny.
Yes.
But using a makeup wipe is not washing
Oh,
your
It's
the
not.
worst.
You're just. It's like Swiffering. You're just moving it around.
Yeah, putting chemicals on your face.
And putting
really.
chemicals. Yeah.
I'll never use that either. I don't use those.
Wow.
Or
Yeah.
the whole St. Ives scrub thing.
St.
That's
Ives.
the worst.
They had a
said.
lawsuit because
Wait,
there
what?
was
What is it?
lacerations on the face.
Mhm.
People were.
What was
There
it?
was a
Saint
huge
Ives.
lawsuit.
St.
Oh,
Ives.
St.
I
Ives.
forgot, yeah.
What was it? They had
They had a lawsuit.
Well, it's walnut.
It's walnut
walnuts.
shells. And so it's,
Crushed up.
they're like, oh, I'm exfoliating. My skin feels so squeaky clean, but it's actually cutting your face. One of our providers,
Holy shit! Wow.
oh yeah. So one of our providers, she said she was treating an acne client and I think it was a teenager. She pulled a chunk, not big, not like an entire walnut shell, obviously, but a piece of shell out of the the minor's face. And she was like, so what are you using at home? I'm like, oh, da 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 da.
So
She was
all
like,
right.
yeah, I got a piece
gotta,
of it.
I gotta ask. So what the fuck? Like,
Right.
first off, how did the kid not know there's a walnut in their face? Is
Because
it like that
this is
small?
all
it-
over. They have great advertising
Marketing
stuff,
budget.
marketing budget. So
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's why-
These are the people sponsoring
Yes.
the Oscars and the Emmys.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
But it's
Pantene.
funny because that's what Botox Josh kicks him in the store.
yeah, he
Like
goes in
literally,
the store
he'll
and
go
kicks
through
it.
the store and like kick it. And he's
Off
like,
the
it's so
shelves.
bad.
off the shelves.
Serious?
So
And on his
funny.
Instagram. Oh, yeah.
That's
He's
funny.
Let's
really
go to Target and go kick shit.
Yeah.
Wait, what's his
Or
name?
make sure you put on
His
Instagram.
name-
Well, all
Botox
the multi-level
Look him up.
marketing,
Yeah.
Oh, how
skincare.
do you feel about Rodan and Fields?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Oh.
I have a lot of
Don't
clients
ooh.
that I
Let's-
respect that sell it, and this is how I tell them: if you come to me with 12 products for 3 different skin types, I'm not that skin type. I'm not that. I'm not that. Sorry, you can't help me.
Right.
And or by the way, I have 3 of those skin types. Can you combine them? Yeah, for like $3,000, I can combine them. No, thanks.
Yeah.
So it's not customizable. Multi-level marketing. I've been in the business in the past. Not that long ago, and it's great. You're supporting your teachers, your neighbors, your mother-in-law.
God, you're so giving a PC damn answer right there.
I am, but here's the
She has
thing.
friends.
I mean, I have a lot of people I respect, but I don't love the ingredients in it. When it comes down to it, I don't love the ingredients, and I think it's
suitable
overpriced.
for most people. Yeah.
It's so overpriced for the ingredients.
So there's
I love that
Yeah.
the patients, like, they're used to a routine. Like they're gonna follow 1, 2, 3, and 4 every night because that's what the piece of paper says, and that's what their girlfriend and the before and afters that are doctored online.
That's what I was gonna say. I
And-
feel like they're edited.
Yes.
but
It's a
you got-
proven fact.
so that we can appreciate that. And does it work for some people? But anytime somebody comes in, I know what I'm doing, talking to new clients and stuff. Anytime they're on whatever line, I said, "How is it working for you? Do you like what the results you're getting?" No, truly.
No, I believe you.
if
That's
some-
just,
if
y'all,
someone
are,
is-
y'all are really good at the
if
way y'all
someone
say more stuff.
they're like, "No, I like my skin." Well, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, "Okay, then why are you here?" But also, like, if it's working for you, fine. I'm not going to argue with that. But like, if it's not, like, if you're still feeling dry or you feel like your pores are still massive, like, you might want to try changing your products.
I think it goes to what you just said. Was it you that just said about the Oscars and Emmys, or somebody just said that?
Oh,
Yeah.
marketing
So,
did.
but you think about it. You're right. You got the Rodin and whatever. I mean, it's a massive, very,
Massive.
very $1 billion
But the
company.
whole thing is they're not
Experts.
educated
Yeah.
like
Correct.
you are. I mean, you
Correct.
have the education behind you. You have the continuing education behind you. You have
That's
the
exactly
experience.
right.
I mean, this is
And we don't
just
sell it.
people.
Yeah.
It's just people that jump on multi-level marketing. Is just. I mean, everyone
Well,
knows.
But that's
sorry.
exactly what you said. I mean, you're hitting the nail on the head. People, you will make anything be the best product in the world if you think you can make some money at it. It's so great. I mean,
Yes.
Advocare, just y'all see that they had like that
Oh,
major $150 million.
Lawsuit.
It was something like that, and
They're going out. My daughter, actually, they're the sponsors for my daughter's FC Dallas
Yeah.
game, and we have to buy new uniforms.
Yep.
'Cause they're going out.
Really?
because I mean, so at
wow.
that point, like even that product they had, that Spark product. I mean,
Yeah.
by default, I think it's like almost a sugar pill effect of like, oh, it's fucking great, and I've just made $2,000 this
Now I'm
month.
addicted.
Yeah.
I wanted
Yeah.
to ask you guys too before, like, I just wanted to know about like Fraxel and those lasers. Do you guys do those, or do you believe in those, or?
We have laser experience like that. I would say yes, it's great. Fraxel,
What is
you have
it?
to be the right candidate for it.
Yeah.
I would say majority of our clientele like to be social and don't like
Right.
downtime, so we
Right.
kind of have to dance around that.
And Halo, that's another. That's a
Well, hold on.
laser.
Yeah,
What is first?
Halo.
What's Fraxel, and then what is Halo?
So they're ablative lasers that go on a deeper level. And if they're done correctly, you have to be the right candidate for it. So if you're darker skin type or you have, let's say, melasma, you'll hear that word once in a while.
What is that?
It's a hormone-based pigment. So if you've ever been with anybody who has like the pregnancy mask, we call it,
Oh,
they don't have to be pregnant to have it, but
Hormones, yeah.
My-
any-
Wait,
one of my
wait,
best
wait.
friends gets
the mustache,
A
Look at the
mustache.
forehead.
I don't have a clue what y'all are.
so
What?
there's girls
Come
that
on.
walk around with like dark spots on their face
or a darker, like their skin changes colors.
I don't think I've ever seen.
Hormones.
You you just don't realize.
Yeah,
I
it's
was going to
okay.
show you.
Yeah, show me.
That's because you don't know. You notice other things.
Like
Guys don't care about
Titties.
That's not completely true. That's not
I think it's
true.
just so subtle, but like a woman.
Women cover it though.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're really
Like with
self-conscious
makeup
of it.
and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, heavy makeup. So you have to pre-treat prior
Wow.
to that. So
Wow.
It's large. It's
So
not just
if you have
spots.
darker skin or something like that, you're not a candidate for Halo.
you can
and-
be a candidate, but you just have to pre-treat
Oh, okay.
the right
correctly
provider.
Got
for
it,
weeks
got it.
prior.
Got it.
So you have to pre-treat your skin, get it prepped for something like that. Make sure you don't have any like inflammatory diseases. If you've been on past Accutane, you can have issues like inflammation issues with it.
Wow.
So you have to be the right candidate for
Yeah.
it. You can't be in the sun. If you want to get the great results, you have to make sure you're a compliant person. So it just dwindles down the clientele base. Like there's not a lot of
Which
Yeah.
is, I asked
In
that because
Texas.
somebody, the same place that I got Skin Pen was the same place. I was like, just get Fraxel, but they don't know my skin or they don't know anything.
What is skin pen?
microneedling.
Microneedling.
So it's a type of
Bernie's
microneedling.
mind is just,
I know. I'm like,
saw
what
it
is this?
Microneedle-
Is it- I'm
Microneedling
really like
is
intrigued.
a general term, kind of like a tissue, and Kleenex is the skin pen. It's a specific brand. They were the first ones to be FDA cleared, category 2, type 2, whatever the device is. So it's people medical device. People recognize skin pen because of the name recognition. The action is microneedling, collagen induction therapy, and there's multiple devices on the market that different providers will use.
Wow.
Once again, certain candidates, certain situations.
Great for acne scarring. The picture I showed you, the guy before and after, was that.
It's pretty amazing. What is it's so if someone is a licensed esthetician, can do they have access to all these things, or is it an extra training that they have to do to get skin pen or something
Extra
like that?
training with a medical director. Okay. So you have to have a doctor delegate you to do it. So technically it's not licensed esthetician, it's your doctor is delegating you to do that. And then with proper training.
Yeah.
That being said, your provider should have the extra training. Same with lasers. That was something I wanted to touch on is that Texas is a doctor delegated state for the most part. So you have to be very careful. You want to ask the right questions before you go into something with laser. What's your training? What's your background? How long have you been doing this?
Right.
Certain things, because there's a lot of things that even though you are a candidate, there's a lot of things that can go wrong. So you have to be very conscious of that. So I think as
just
the consumer,
anything.
just like anything, but as the consumer, you want to be very aware of that. So asking the right questions, which also goes back into what we were talking about earlier is, how do you find a provider that is qualified?
We had a show on about LASIK surgeries gone wrong with a amazing eye doctor that fixes those situations.
Man, that's brutal.
Which he actually said that people will research a car that they want to buy more than they will their laser surgery because they just listen to their 5 friends that maybe have had it
and see the
don't
billboard.
realize don't realize that the percentages that the world wants you to see, they say that you have a 1% chance something going wrong, when in reality it's more than 20. That makes a humongous difference.
Damn,
so that reminds me of that. Like, you have to be extremely careful and in charge of your own
But it goes down
well-being.
to, and that's the
with
thing. It
anything.
goes down to that most people don't even know what questions to ask.
And that is true.
It's because there's such a, just like Botox Josh, whatever, he's kicking shit down. But people don't know any better because those, you have companies like
you're
that.
right.
Well, you have Kylie Jenner, or you have famous people like saying,
exactly.
like, I got my skin from
And
because
it's
they
funny
get paid
because
for it.
they're not even using their own shit. They're
No, they
using,
get paid for
at
it.
all, I promise you. You made $1 billion using somebody else's shit.
So Roxanne, when she won Skin Games the one year, and then this year
And then my whole team went back and participated in top 10 and made top 10 for
you
their
got
categories. So
second
Jessica
place.
was pigment. You were
No.
pigmentation. I'm sorry.
Open non-medical.
Open non-medical.
What is that? Yeah.
Everything pretty much.
Essentially,
Covers.
yeah.
Covers,
Depends on
like-
your state, but like pretty much everything except for like injections.
So
Like, I
she
got to
kind of
have, like,
worked
frugal.
magic over a flight attendant.
Which is a whole
Long time
nother-
flight attendant. So aging skin.
But you got second place.
And then I got
this time.
compassionate category for one that brought back the $10,000 check. It
So
was
she
like
got
a nonprofit.
$10,000
For the
check
Lioness,
to put
yeah.
to
For
the
the Lioness project. Not for me. My kids were like, do we get to go to a nice dinner? no, but other people
somebody
might
gets
have
it
a dinner.
So funny. Dude, that's unbelievable.
So it was fun. We might sit out this year. We've been doing a lot. We have a lot of fun things happening coming up. We're going to be a case study location. So we'll be doing
Really?
some.
We'll be looking for models
That's
for
cool.
case
We're
study
looking for
participants.
models.
Marcella.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Bernie. No.
Me.
I don't know what your case studies are, but I would totally do it.
So that's a really cool thing. For those who don't know, when you get into a case study situation, that's when you're really putting the studies behind to help, really give validity.
Put yourself on the
And educate.
Yes, and educate.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a big deal. That's a really big
That's
deal. That's
awesome.
awesome stuff. How hard was that to get to where you guys came to a facility? I'll go ahead and call it a center of excellence for something like that.
How
you.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's legit.
Be
That's a big
available
deal.
for marketing.
Hey.
Lots of hard work went into it. Lots of sacrifice went into it. We had to prove that we actually knew what we were doing and show results, and I think it paid off. But it wasn't overnight.
Do you do black skin as well?
Oh yeah, lots of dark skin.
Asian.
Yes.
Asian,
Any-
Indian. Oh, yeah.
Asian, dark skin kind of are both high
All
risk
Fitzpatrick's.
up there. We do a lot. Yeah.
When you say high risk, what does that mean? Like, I don't know anything about
Like
this.
you don't want to be Michael Jackson, turn like, I mean, we love Michael Jackson, but you don't want to have hypopigment. You can burn their skin. I mean, you can severely burn
Wow.
and cause white patches all over.
Now, I saw that you do a teen workshop as well, where you have teenagers coming in and you teach them about makeup and skincare, and they can go home with products. I mean, that is incredible as
Yes,
well.
Cool.
we do that summertime just
Mhm.
for something fun for the community and try to.
But
Get
how
knowledge
cool
out
is
there.
that? Because teenagers, they watch stuff on YouTube and
Yeah.
whatnot, and
Kylie
they
Jenner.
apply makeup the wrong way or do too much or whatever. So it's, I mean, you do so many amazing things, you guys.
I laugh sometimes. I used to watch it every so often. I'll do this. You pull those YouTube videos, like the bloopers of people who do like skin or makeup tutorials, and some of the most horrible like blooper
I need to
ones.
look that up. I've never
It's
seen
it's
that.
hilarious.
I
Or
bet.
some
It is
of the,
good
the
laugh.
hair
Yeah.
one's really funny. Like there was this one girl was trying to show how to cut bangs. She pulled it up there and she cut it and it spiked up here.
Oh,
and the funny thing
my
about
God.
it is they're real serious, but when you see the reaction of what they just did, it's way funnier because they're like,
I've
they
only
didn't
seen
realize
the
they were
girl who
fucking up.
burned her
But with
hair
the
off.
wand?
Yes. She's like, oh my God. Yeah.
It's
I've
so
only
funny.
seen her.
They're all really funny.
So I want to go back to our mutual friend, Tanya. That's how I met Roxanne. And she is also a esthetician, facial snob. Along with her mother, they have traveled the whole world. They have had the
Oh, yeah,
best
she
of the
said the
best
nicest
in
thing.
New York and whatnot. She has said they are the best in the whole wide world. That's what she said.
Well, you got
I
awards
agree.
and accolades to prove
I know.
that. For
I
sure.
have to agree. I mean,
But
it's unbelievable.
And you see a lot of it. So I can't imagine how many times you guys are like just kind of shaking your head on social media. But that can be, it's hard to know. I mean, especially you see people who it's been an easy road for them. But then for someone like me, I'm like, it almost feels impossible. So then to meet like people like you guys, it's kind of, you trust that.
I feel like she's excited.
I am excited.
She has
get my hands on you.
She has
Yeah,
hope.
just hope.
Yeah, she has hope.
It's very
We see it all the
hopeful.
time, though.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people. I mean, we have like Yelp or Google reviews, and sometimes I'm like, how do they find us on the internet?
Yeah.
Really? So it just goes back to word of mouth is the best
Yeah.
when it comes down to it. Obviously, not LASIK. I mean, do your homework wherever you
homework,
are.
yes.
Yeah.
How
But
do you not research a LASIK, doc? I mean, you're still wide awake. You're sedated, but my God, a knife or a laser in your eye? Oof. Yeah.
No.
that was one of probably the most important shows we've ever done
Oh,
because it's
crazy.
That awareness.
giving awareness, and there's so many people that are suffering. And if you have had LASIK, it can even go bad years later. That it doesn't mean that it's like good
Well, people-
today, that it goes bad. But
We did it too because people were taking their own life
Mhm.
because of the pain in their eyes. And then when we were talking to him, he was like, I mean, think about how many times you blink. Like these people can only get relief with their eyes closed. So they're like
it is.
killing themselves. 'Cause They
Yes,
can't take
killing
it.
I've
themselves
never
are
even
in-
kind of heard.
What?
Oh, it's
That's
awful.
crazy.
It is.
Shit.
But
probably-
he can help them.
He can help.
And nobody knows about
Nobody knows because he's not big on the internet.
Yeah.
So it's
Damn.
insane.
That's insane.
But I want to just tell you, when I called Marcella after you guys, and she's like, Mom, do you really think you found someone for me? I said, I really think I did. I got all teary because it's been such a struggle, you know?
There's a lot of people that struggle, and
Yeah.
you just don't know where to go, or
Or you try everything and it's like,
It's
well, that
amazing.
failed.
you think you tried everything.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
and you spend a ton of money on
Yeah.
like worthless.
Worthless.
Yeah.
You know, that's on a little bit of a separate deal. You know, we were going to earlier. We were talking about people look on social media and they get, you know, they think they got one interpretation and it's usually bullshit or whatnot. It's interesting hearing you. It's very heartfelt hearing like,
Oh, yeah.
the hope here, right? Because I'm 1,000% sure anyone who has never met you
Uh-huh.
and sees your, because you photograph beautiful. You're
Yeah,
one
thank
of like
you.
my sister, right? So
Yeah.
I mean that very respectfully.
Yeah.
But no one would ever think that someone who looks like you would be dealing with something like this.
Oh,
so
right.
it's very awesome that there's specialists like you two who can give hope to someone who nobody would think is
Yeah.
feeling this way. Like, does that make
Right.
sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Also, that she is able to admit it. And I mean, it's been a struggle in our
Huge.
family. Like, since she was 14, that's been
Yeah.
a struggle for me because I was so against the Accutane. I wanted to not do that for her. And
Yeah.
We tried absolutely everything, and there was nothing. And it was the hardest thing for me as a mother to actually put on this drug, being a European mother on top of it. And we don't even do Advil. Like it was really
my brother too.
Yeah,
my brother
too.
My brother
Really?
was almost worse, and it actually
I had no idea.
Oh,
Gino?
Gino was almost worse than me, and he like his self-esteem, like he would look down, like he's very funny and outgoing
Yeah.
today.
and at the time he was like crippled by it. It's very
We see it with teens
It's
all the
it's
time.
crippling. There's a perfect term for it. It really is.
crippling. And someone told me that when they're at that age and you don't get it fixed, it can, like, think about a tree growing, and
Wow.
it's like the branches go down instead of up, and
It's
it
all
can
about self-esteem
completely
with this.
determine their
Mhm.
way of
Path.
life.
Yeah.
The
So
path.
I always
Yeah.
say, like, everybody's like, what age do you start? I say start at age 6, 8. When you're teaching them to brush their teeth properly, that's when you teach them to wash their face properly. Otherwise, and boys, sorry,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
the worst typically. So I think starting habits at a younger age, same as health and fitness and everything.
Good
Just
habits
start
and
good
everything.
habits.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So now, okay, so this resonates so much more with me now that you guys do workshops in the summer for teens. Now, kind of hearing this, I guess it's the kind of me connecting the dots that really resonates way
because
more.
you have a son.
Yeah, because of a son, and
How
just
old is
hearing
he?
he's 8.
Yeah.
So, but also hearing you know, again, I didn't catch it till just a few minutes ago when I said
Yeah.
what I said. It resonates so much more that you guys are putting so much back in the community with your charity and with giving these workshops to educate teens and whatnot. Because it does. At the end of the day, you know, just like you were saying, it starts at a young age and roots grow, and it can. People don't realize till later on how impacted they are by stuff. And
Well,
so,
and everybody has like, you know, I teach dance, so I'm with a lot of kids and teenagers, and you have your kids who they'll never have it. Like they just genetically, they have perfect white skin and their pores are small and tight. And you're like, gosh, even as a teenager, like they never even get a pimple. It's just different types of skin. And then you see these kids and they are so insecure with it. And it's so crazy because some people never have to have that problem. And then there's some people who do. And it's so frustrating when you do because you can't control it.
But we
Right.
see those same perfect kids.
Mhm.
We'll hear it all the time. They hit 30 or 29, and all of a
Sometimes
sudden,
adult acne.
I never
adult
broke
acne
up when
kicks
I
in.
broke out when I
Oh,
was
when I
little.
was
Yeah.
Like,
You'll hear, I had the most perfect skin, and then all of a sudden it,
Went crazy.
yeah.
Wow,
Mhm.
that's interesting too.
I think it's
That
a
is interesting.
holistic approach though. I think it's like diet, it's everything, combination,
full
hormones.
body. And
yeah.
Yeah.
for sure, diet does a lot with everything.
So I know this might be weird, but I feel like this was such an amazing educational show. I don't feel like doing any segments. I
No?
feel like that because I feel like this is an amazing advertising tool.
Mm-hmm.
Not only for you guys, but for us and for everybody else that
Yeah,
thinks
for
that
sure.
someone has skin issues. They need to come to SkinRx
Mm-hmm.
in Southlake, Texas.
Yeah, what's your web address?
Yeah,
All
tell us
social
your
media.
social media so people can find you.
We're dfwskinrx.com or we're SkinRx Spa.
on Instagram and Facebook. And then each of the providers, including Roxanne, we're all SkinRx
By whoever.
by Jessica, SkinRx by Lauren, SkinRx, so you can find
Skinner
us.
X by Roxanne. Skinner
By
X.
Roxy.
Okay.
Tell us
Roxy.
you
Yeah.
have a hashtag.
Got roxed.
That's cute. I like
We're
that.
going to start got jest.
That's funny.
One of my clients said I got roxed.
Yeah.
I like
Sent me a
that.
photo. Yeah.
I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart for coming on. I think you guys are a hidden secret still. I know you have so many people and Roxanne is booked out for weeks, but there's still a hidden
So is she.
secret.
Yeah. We're months.
Months.
I'm booking January.
Wow.
Wow.
Jessica's booked out too.
I'm coming in
We have an
November.
amazing team.
That is
Yes,
She
unbelievable. Wow.
pushed her way in.
Yeah.
I'm working an extra day.
sorry.
My hours are creeping up.
Bring champagne. Yeah.
So I wanted to thank you. Is there any more questions?
No,
Anyone?
that was awesome. Thank
That
you
was
guys.
awesome. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you for having
Thank
us.
you.
Oh my gosh.